common thread in the lives and livelihoods of border communities is resilience. Border communities are tough, often neglected and marginalized by distant capitals and upcountry elites.
Our objective of this meeting is sharing knowledge, what we gain in the past years through the resilience programming, particularly in cross-border areas. It's also networking in order to understand who is doing what, where, both across the board as well as also within the same entity.
The knowledge exchange actually attracted member states mainly and development partners who are working and implementing in projects in those three clusters, funding agencies, including the USAID that is financing these projects.
One very clear value that this event has brought is the importance of collaboration, because it is clear that different stakeholders have a role to play in achieving the full resilience we expect in our community. By different stakeholders coming together, they're able to share the experiences, they're able to learn from each other, and they're able to define actions that can cement the efforts of building resilience.
It was a knowledge sharing event, and there are many experts from the different countries involved. I learned more about climate change and resilience for the pastoral regions, and I also get to know what I can do from my organization's perspective, how we can improve the offtake of animals from pastoral regions, and also in terms of improving the quality and the quantity.
One of the key takeaways is the area around animal feed, that there's a lot of wastage happening around animal feed, and this is a major area of concern. We also have learned out of this event that there's a lot of surplus. In some of the IGAD countries, they surplus food, but it is not reaching the people who need to access it during droughts or even during floods.
We've been running series of analysis on the link between climate change and conflict, and we are now in the fourth series that was published in the year 2023, that is last year. And that study used rainfall estimates from ICPAC and vegetation data from ICPALD. And then we used that information to layer it with over 20 years of behavioral data that C1 has been collecting on the conflicts in the region. And our finding was that there is a stronger correlation between climate change and conflict in the pastoral areas.
It's important that we call ourselves to action around impact, taking things to scale, holding ourselves accountable for the resources that are spent. And I think one of the strategic areas that was identified is the private sector. What are the sustainable solutions that through the private sector we can bring into the conversation?
Designing investments should take into account all the stakeholders. And by doing that, you're also able to define the roles and responsibilities of all the stakeholders across the different levels of implementation.
Through the effort of IGAD, now there are multiple actors in cross-border area, government, civil society, as also multilateral organizations. All those organizations, they have been doing context analysis to understand the problem, as well as some are also implementing some of the challenges.
Then for governments, it is very good to develop a development plan along the border. With Uganda, we have had, and every sector is included. So if it can be replicated, your other countries also along the borders can look at that and then put in or subtract.
We have identified problems already. We have been talking about the problems of this area since morning. It is now the right time to act. It is now the right time to look for investments to support these communities wherever they are.
The biggest challenge is for many years They have not been integrated into the mainstream economic development. It still needs a lot of effort in terms of infrastructure, in terms of preparing them to absorb the shock from climate change. Literally, it means we need a big size of investment, and that size of investment is not equally coming from different countries.
With all the knowledge that has been presented, I urge you to live with one. We need to change the way we look at borderland communities, from heads of states to county officials. And the role of IGAD is to bring that on a daily basis to stakeholders. When we meet with heads of states, we present that idea to them.